as well. I'm about to be going live here on Instagram shortly, if all goes well. That'd be a wonderful thing to get to do that. If not, then perhaps I'll have to restart. No, we're good. We're good. Let's go live. Okay. Everything's opening. Everything's operating. I do have access to my TikTok comments today. That's fun. Well, we're working. We're here, which is fantastic. This is the first time in a while that I've had a working stream. So, I am the Thinker. Hi. Hello there. Bailey's here. Yes, we are so back. Amy Willow, hi. This is early for you. Yes, it is. It's only 2 in the afternoon. For you, I believe it's 8 o'clock. So, yeah, it is a little bit early. Good evening. Hi there, one of many Ryans. It looks like everybody's popping in. What a wonderful thing. Let me know where you are and what you're proud of this week. That's what I want to hear. Wherever you are, if I don't already know where you're from, let me know where you're from and what you're proud of this week. I'd like to start these shows. I know you're Cindy. What's going on? I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're having a gentle day today, too. I interrupted your watching of Back to the Future, too. What? Hold on a second. I didn't realize. Have you not seen it before? Is this your first time seeing Back to the Future? Good afternoon. Hi there. It's oh my goodness. It's midnight for you. Benjamin says, hey, Mike, I'm working on a game right now, so I don't have time to stay, but I just passed 100 days of tracking and binge eating free lately. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Kate lost the vacation weight. That's really good. And we all know that's a little bit of water weight. But nonetheless, it is a little bit discouraging when it comes on. Doing HCG with Fittermain lost 120 so far, need 30 more, plateaued and feel fatter over the past few months. How long has the plateau been going on? Let me know that. 10 days into tracking on Lose It. That's great. You're watching it through for the first time. You and I are going to have a talk when you're done with it. I'd love to hear what you say. Hi from the USA. Hold on a second. Smitty, are you in the US right now? Yeah, 100 days binge free is huge. My goodness, there were periods in my past where 100 minutes without a binge would have been great. Proud of competing in an 8K run. David, that's awesome. Your chin filled up my fridge with a bunch of decent fruits and veggies and decent proteins instead of Whataburger for the next week. Let's go. I just moved to Whataburger territory, and it's very good. It certainly is very good. I will say that. That all being said, do I want to have it every day? Probably not. I don't think that's going to be something I want to have. No, from the USA's hat, Mike. Oh, the hat. Oh, wow, that just flew right over my hat. Thank you for clarifying that for me. Mike, that black top is making me think sinful thoughts. Yes, I know black is associated with demonic imagery and such, so I'm very sorry to bring that up. Tank top looks great. Thank you. I appreciate that a whole lot. I just went to the store yesterday, and I got... I went to the store last week and got a six-pack of small ones. Because I fit into a small of that same brand, so I figured, okay, well, that should be good. No, these are differently shaped. They're not shaped the same way. So I had to go back and get a medium, and that messed with me a little bit, but, I obviously reasoned my way through it. David lost 70 pounds over the past 8 months, but he's feeling stuck at the moment. Track everything, but weight seems to stay the same. Have another 30 to go. Been that way for at least a month. So... David, if you've lost 70 pounds, are you still doing the same calorie deficit that you were at the beginning? Because if that's the case, you might have to adjust your calorie deficit. It might be time to reevaluate, because you're not the 70-pound heavier version of you anymore. You have different caloric needs. Hey, Kurt's here. Sharp Shirt Kurt, what's going on, fella? Happy to see you. How are you feeling? What brings you to us at this early time? Just felt like popping on. I figured maybe I'd see my friend Amy, so I figured I'd come on now. Compliments on the tank top as well, but I wouldn't mind if you get out of here, Ugoid. Just saw the doc. Things are looking good. Nice. I'm really happy to hear that. Do you have any more weight to go at this point? Are you still going? Like, what's the goal now? Now that you've got some of the extra skin taken care of, what's next for Kurt here? Your advice was 100% right, so I'll be working with my rugby coach for rugby and my powerlifting buddies. Oh, great. I'm glad to have given you some clarity here. I'm always surprised when I give somebody advice that helps them because I have no idea what I'm doing. And those of you who have watched my podcast, Mike Needs a Plan, available on Apple, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcasts, you will hear me start my show by saying that the worst person in your life knows everything, but you know nothing. And it's the greatest thing you can do for yourself. Do you know everything? Stop it. Not a good thing to do. Oh, Sarah's here. Hey, Sarah. Happy to see you. How are you doing? Keep me updated. Let me know what's happening. Autumn's here. Hey, I just responded to a bunch of my DMs today. I was like, you know what? There's all these DMs here, and I never get a chance to respond to as many of them as I'd like. So I just was like, why don't I start some conversations here? Why don't I talk with some people? And I've been having some great conversations with some great people, and I've just opened myself up to a lot of really good connections. It's been really nice. Sup, homies. Spider-Man and Smitty are the backbones of these podcasts. Is anybody listening to the podcast? Does anyone know about the podcast? Are we aware of it? I don't really talk about it very much. It's just kind of like a hidden gem for people to find if they find it. I don't really post about it. I posted about it the other day, and it was my most viewed story in a very long time. Ahoy, matey! Yes. In regards to your advice, I'll be getting a bit chunkier till the second week of December for our peak season, and I'll be bigger and happier with my physique after a longer deficit come January. Oh, this may as well be my announcement here. I have committed to the bulk. I've never committed to a bulk for more than like 2 or 3 months or so. And I think I am going to stick to it for like 6 months here. And am I scared? Certainly. Yes. I've never eaten at a surplus, not in my recovery for that long. So, I've done like little controlled surpluses where I've done it for a little while and put on a little bit of muscle, but I want to put on a lot of muscle. I want to see what I'm capable of. And yes, I know there will be fat that will come with it, but there too will be muscle. And that's what's important to me. I know I can lose the weight. I know I can lose the extra fat. I would like to say I'm not worried about the fat, but I'm not worried about being able to lose the fat. I'll say that much. I am worried about the way it'll look and the way it'll feel. But I know with confidence I can remove it. And I also know that it is the scaffolding by which I will achieve my goals. Without the fat, I do not achieve my goals. Without putting on a little bit of extra heft, I don't get to achieve what I'd like to achieve. So it's necessary. It's important. How detrimental is it if I reduce my calories but keep working out the same? That's going to be up to you to decide. If you get into the gym and you feel like your performance is struggling, because you don't have the same kind of energy you had before, then maybe bump it up a little bit. It's going to be something you have to figure out. You're not going to put on a ton of muscle while you're in a deficit. It's not really going to happen all that much, but I wish that when I was in my calorie deficit, it would have been I would have been working out. This is let me pull up here. We can commit together, Mike. Are you worried about the fat gain? Yeah, a little bit. I was just talking about that before. But I'm not worried in the sense that, like, I'll be stuck with it forever. I'm just worried about, like, how am I going to feel when it's there? Because when I do this, I will put on more weight than I've had on my body in many years. So we're going to see what happens. The fall decor and clothing is a must. It's hot as fuck here. I'm doing well, thank you. Finally did an art series I've been holding up. Bailey, post that in the Discord and tag me in it. I'd love to see it. Or you can just send it to me, but I would love for you to share it in the Discord. I want to see what I'm capable of. Words to live by. Yeah, Smitty, this is everything I've done has just been, what am I capable of? What can I do? And what I'm capable of or what I want is in direct correlation to what I feel I'm capable of in the moment. So having to find the next thing that I'm going to do pushes me towards finding my next goal. And I want to see what happens. If all I do is just gain fat, then okay, I guess I just gained fat. It is what it is. I can lose it. And so I do it every day. I talk about it every day. But Amy Willow says this is easily the most positive community I've been a part of. Anyone here who's not in the Discord community yet, I would love for you to join us. You can find that link on my page, whichever page you've got for me. You can find it on TikTok. By the way, TikTok, I am not able to see your comments, so if you'd like to get your comment read, come on over to Twitch or YouTube. That all being said, what was I saying before? Oh, yeah, come on over to the Discord. I would love to see you. I'm not going to be on here too long today because I am going to be getting to the gym. Going to replay everything Mike just said every time I'm feeling crap about fat gain during the bulk. It's necessary. It really is. It's important. I mean, the first time I did it, I was not super happy, of course, but I also didn't commit to it as much as I would have liked to. So I wasn't really happy with the progress I made either. I was just like, I gained a little bit of fat and a little bit of muscle. And I'm thinking like, I can do more. I can definitely do more, and I'm shortchanging myself by not doing more. Are you supposed to be tired in a deficit? No, definitely not. If you feel particularly tired, there's a couple of factors to look at. It may be the deficit. It may be you're not getting enough sleep. It may be you're not getting enough water. Whatever it is. But yeah, you're not supposed to be tired all the time in a deficit. That's a pretty good sign that you're not doing it slowly enough. Bailey, why are you Bob in the Discord? Because it looks like everybody's finding out that he's the same. Mike, you should share a pic when you get to the gym so we can be sure it happened. Don't forget pics or it didn't happen. All right, challenge accepted. I've not worn a one of these to the gym yet, so I'm going to do that today, and I'm nervous. I'm kind of nervous about that. So we're going to see what happens. We're going to see how I feel about it. I may film it. I may not. I will at least take a picture when I get there. But, yeah, definitely a little concerned. Everyone's all offended that Bailey's been hiding her secret identity behind the Bob persona. I want to go to the gym. Someone please go get in a nice workout for me. How are you feeling so far with your back being tweaked the way it is? You starting to feel a little bit better yet? You were walking when we were on the phone the other day. I'm just watching everyone have this startling realization. It's very fun. Very, very fun. I like that you're watching Back to the Future too, Amy Willow. What made you decide to watch it? My back is less painful now and just more achy. I can walk for about a mile before it starts twitching. That's perfect. Because the day that it happened, you couldn't walk a couple of feet. Going back to Texas on Monday. Sorry to hear. I want to go to the gym, but I am sick, so I'm sat here eating porridge and watching Back to the Future. Sounds like a good night to me. Definitely. And and if you're sick, you shouldn't be forcing yourself to do stuff anyway. If you can move around a little bit, like you've heard me talk about doing laps around my kitchen island, like if that's all you can do right now, you go ahead and just move around a little bit. Get your body in motion. You don't have to be working out. I skipped something yesterday because I felt a tweak in my shoulder. So I'm going to go back and do that today along with some leg stuff. But, I don't push myself super. I will push myself in the set, but if I feel like, oh, hold on a second, I don't like that, I will stop. I have a long list of films that I haven't seen. You'd be shocked at what movies I haven't seen. Oh, guilty. I have not seen anything. Anytime somebody mentions a movie, I'm like, yeah, I've been watching this. Sorry. So I'm working my way through it. I thought Back to the Future was an easy watch, so that is what I'm working through at the moment. By the way, you won't get everything you need from it from the first watch. You're going to have to watch it 15 times at least before it starts making sense. Also, side note, Mike, I loved the video today. Great content, man. Thank you. That means a lot. I'd been thinking about that for a bit. Like the the video where I was ripping all my shirts off of the hangers in my closet. Like, there are bits of me that still feel that way, but it was dramatized. It was a dramatic retelling of the way that I used to feel about things. I am still uncomfortable buying new shirts. Hell, like I'm wearing this because I was trying to challenge myself. But I'm a little bit more comfortable these days. I'm very good at cooking these days, but there were periods of my life where I was not good at cooking because I wasn't good at eating. So I'm like, well, what if I sort of tell that story here? Find a way to tell it. And so that was it was interesting to see, like, okay, let's revisit the way that I used to think. Try to put myself in that mindset. Can you make me a burger? Yeah, come on over. Hold on. Ryan, I think I missed your previous comment regarding every single dietary need. I think I missed what came before that, so if you could rehash it, or if you could pop over to Twitch or YouTube, I'd be able to see your comments more clearly. Well, let's keep on keeping on. Yeah, I did body weight at home for a year and started the real gym recently. I started doing body weight, and I had these adjustable dumbbells at home, and I did that for 6 months before I went to the gym because I was nervous to go to the gym. I was very nervous. What's my favorite thing to cook, Michael? My favorite thing to cook, Amy Willow, is probably the dinner that I make every night. It is about 700 calories, 750 calories, depending on how I make it. It's about 65, 70 grams of protein. It keeps me reliably full to the perfect amount. I've spent 2 years working and reworking and perfecting it, and I'm at the point now where I use the food scale for it, but it's not to track the calories. It's to track the amount of food that I want. Because if I have more, it doesn't feel very good, and if I eat less, I want more. So it's like perfectly engineered for my body. What is my dinner each evening? I will tell you personally in a message, because I don't want people thinking that it is a magic weight loss food. I was eating it when I was bulking. I was eating it when I was cutting. It's one of my non-negotiables. I really enjoy it a whole lot, or I call it the mandatory minimums. But yeah, the point of it is that if you find a dinner that you like, or you find meals that you like so much that you kind of can't live without them, you'll keep eating them. What's your favorite world cuisine? Mine's Arabic food, since it accommodates every single dietary group and need, but specifically Lebanese and Palestinian food because of my Palestinian and Lebanese friends. I'll be quite honest, I've not been exposed to a whole lot of culture. I'm not quite sure where you're from, but here in the U.S., we are completely insulated for the most part, and the sort of more exotic cuisines that we have are watered down versions, like Taco Bell, which it's not actually authentic. It's just garbage. But yeah, I mean, I'm open to trying all manner of things. I just haven't tried a lot of them myself. Very smart. I'm just nosy and would like to know what food people like. Yeah, I'll talk to you, but I'll talk about that in the Discord. When it's in more of a public setting where people are sort of, they've got an ear out hoping that I'll give them the magic superfood that'll make you gain or lose weight, rather. I'm just careful about talking about what I eat, because I don't want people thinking that there is a food. Like, if I gave you my diet, you'd gain weight. If I gave you my cutting diet, you would gain weight. I am a larger person. I am an active person. And my caloric needs are different. My dietary needs are different. I can almost guarantee that most of you, if I gave you my diet, you would gain weight. To bulk, I'm going to have to eat somewhere around 3,500 calories. So, like, and I was gaining weight slow on 3,500 calories. I may have to do more. I don't know. We're going to find out. Now, I've got more muscle mass this time than I did last time. And before anybody says, oh, I wish I could have that many calories, you don't. I promise you don't. It's not fun. I wish I didn't have to. When you're eating calorically dense, nutritionally dense, protein dense, fiber dense foods, you don't want to eat that much. You really don't. It's not a fun time. Let's keep. I could probably eat taco seasoned ground beef / chicken / turkey every night. Cool. Then, well, I mean, you're down 100 pounds. You know the importance of getting a good rotation of the same meals. If you can find meals that you like consistently and that you'll eat consistently, the whole thing becomes so much easier. How many of you know what you're going to have for dinner tonight? Or if dinner has already passed, how many of you knew what you were going to have for dinner before you did? I can usually determine whether or not someone's going to be successful by whether or not they know what they're going to have for dinner at night. Anytime I ask that question and someone's like, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, you also don't know where you're going. There's a lot of things you don't know. There's a lot of uncertainties in your life, and you're making them up on the spot. And that's okay. You can make things up on the spot. But do you want to be constantly doing that? That's where decision paralysis comes in. That's where executive dysfunction comes in. You don't want to have to contend with that. That's not going to be helpful to you. The universe was like, Amy, your life's going well. You're happy. Going to hit you with an eating disorder and depression and insomnia and some kind of illness. I can't catch a break. Hi, guilty. Me too. My mom says you look very handsome today. See, that's not fair. That's you're complimenting your own work, which I think is self-centered. Yeah, I don't think it's fair. I think that's biased, in fact. Everyone, my mom is lying. Boo, boo, mom. I'm watching on YouTube and I'm a cool kid. Yes, that is true, though. You are a cool kid. Everyone say hi to my mom. My dad is barbecuing. Ooh. Sounds good. Send me some pictures of that, too. And then as soon as you send the pictures, I'll say, how dare you do this to me? I can't handle it. Does losing weight always mean losing fat? No. This is a great question. This almost sounds like it was planted by me. Does losing weight always mean losing fat? Absolutely not. I lost muscle mass. I don't know what else. Healthy tissue. Also, in the beginning, when people are losing a bunch of weight when they first start into a calorie deficit, they are losing water weight and they're losing colon gunk. If we want to talk about the less risky ones, so they're like, "Wow, I lost 15 pounds this month." No, you didn't. You just didn't step on the scale with water in your system. And then suddenly it slows down and like, well, what am I doing wrong? No, you're not doing anything wrong. You're burning fat. You got rid of all the easy stuff. Now we're going into the harder stuff. But I was starving myself out, and I was fasting, and I burned all the muscle clean off my body. I was emaciated. I was really, really skinny. I was cold in the summer. I was weak. I didn't have any muscle mass on me. I'm working desperately to put that muscle back on it. It's a very slow process. It's incredible. When you start from zero, after years of starving yourself and not eating, and I already just like I'm chronically ill, so working out is very difficult. I did not get my family genetics of being muscular, so I'm just like there's all sorts of things working against me in terms of like being able to put muscle mass on. But am I gonna not try? No, I'm going to be trying always. I may get half as far as somebody else in a similar position, but that's 100% as far as I was going to go. And I'm really proud of me for trying. Oh, you know what you're going to have tomorrow as well? Great. Hey, I know what I'm going to have tomorrow too. My mom says, I know what I'm going to have. You wouldn't like it. You're probably right. Ew, salmon burgers. No fish. If I was meant to eat fish, I'd have gills. Let's keep on keeping on here. Everyone's saying hi to my mom. What a nice thing. Share baby photos. Everyone's being really nice. I usually have many options for dinner I can choose from. Burger, pasta, or rice with protein and veggies. Great. You can have a rotating cast of it too. Just have the ingredients ready to go. So you'd be like, okay, cool. And I know what ingredients this is going to take. I know how long this takes. I'm used to making it. Every time he says colon gunk, well, that's what it is. It's colon gunk because it's not all poop either. It's just like, extra food refuse and like just bacteria. There's a certain amount of weight just from old bacteria in your body that is not fecal matter. That's just sitting in there. You've got stomach acid in there. That takes up a little bit of weight. There's just, again, water weight being held on by the glycogen in your muscles. That'll deplete a little bit, especially if you're in a calorie deficit and you're not replacing it with much. There's all sorts of weight that isn't fat that people lose, and they think that they're making progress because their only marker of progress is the scale. Chronic illness gang. This is me extending my hand to you. Hey, how should I really figure out my maintenance calories? There's 2 steps in this one. There's trial and there's error. And somewhere in between, you're going to figure out where it is. Now, I would recommend you start on the Total Daily Energy Expenditure Calculator on calculator.net. Go to calculator.net, you find their Total Daily Energy Expenditure, TDEE, and that'll give you a baseline. Now, if you want to gain all the weight back, use the 2 pound a week figure. If you don't want to do that, I would use the half pound or 1 pound figure of weight loss per week and try that. Even 1 pound to me now sounds insane, but if I lost 1 pound a week, I'd be sick very quick. So you start there, you get a number that looks roundabout because it's not going to be able to figure out your metabolic markers. It doesn't know what your body weight is. It doesn't know what your actual amount of activity is. You try it out for a month. Yeah, a month just to get a data point. How terrible. And then if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, you try it a different way. You need data points. I go by periods of months. I don't go by weeks anymore. I'll tell people in the beginning to go by weeks. But at this point, like, I've gotten enough data points that it's not valuable to me until I have a month of data, at the least. At the very least, it's certainly not every day. There are no data points that are enough to do it, by day. From the Instagram chat, which, by the way, I'd love to invite anyone from the Instagram chat to come over to Twitch or YouTube. I have a hard time when I come home from work. It's usually pretty late, and I don't want to do anything at that point. Well, if you don't want to do anything, it doesn't sound like a problem. Just go to bed. Oh, wait a second. Are we talking about you're still eating, though? Because that is something. That is something that you would like to do. If that's the case, if you're coming home pretty late, you just go to sleep. You don't need to eat it. Now, if you're hungry because you haven't eaten all day, then have something to eat. But what are we reaching for that you're telling me right now you'd like to avoid? Are we making a meal at that point? Is there a meal that could maybe be pre-made, ready for you to go when you come home? Because that could help. We may have to do a little bit of pre-setup so that when you get home and you don't feel like making something, which, by the way, the dinner I have every night takes me 10 minutes to make. If it took any longer, I probably wouldn't make it. 1 pot. Hey, Mike, I joined your Discord, but not sure how to find your live and ask questions. So, Lukester, first off, welcome to the Discord. I'm very grateful to have you there. There's a couple of options where you can ask questions. One, I answer questions on my podcast every week. So there's a channel called Podcast Questions in the Discord. But also for the live streams, you're doing it right. I would love for you to come over to Twitch or YouTube. But if neither of those are an option, then obviously you can just stay there, right where you are. You're doing everything exactly right. I know colon gunk is accurate, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. That's very true. Oh yeah, I did hungry root, but I paused it because I kept traveling. I should try that again. Mike's stream drinking game. Drink everything. Drink every time he mentions calculator.net. I just mentioned calculator.net. Okay, 1 down, everybody. Grab your diet soda. Oh, I just grabbed mine. What else does he say a lot of? Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is very ironic too, because I don't drink myself. So it's a drinking game about me is an interesting thing to do. Drink water every time. Drink every time Mike mentions Discord or food. No one's mentioned Back to the Future yet. There's a drink every time he brings a DeLorean out. You guys are all fake. Nobody called that out yet. Chicken fingers and applesauce. Okay, hey, that's I mean, it's not bad. It's even worse when one of my super long days I'm out for 16 hours. Jeez, are you eating in those 16 hours? Because if that's the case, of course you're coming home ravenous. If you're not, my nutrition used to suck because I used to consist off of Guinness and a few small snacks like a White Monster since I worked 14-hour nights. Yeah, we need a little bit of pre-planning. If you know there's going to be a period of 14 to 16 hours where you're not able to get a consistent meal, if you don't plan for it, you need to start planning for it ahead. That's the solution for some, and that's not the solution you'd like to hear from me. I know there's some secret third thing you're hoping I'll tell you, but planning is super necessary. You have to. If I don't plan for things, I don't do well. I need to. My nutrition's fine. Night shifts are killer, but my days are between 8 hours and 16 hours. And I don't always know how long the day is going to be. Well, then just plan for the worst. And then, whatever you don't eat, you bring it home or you leave it. If there's a refrigerator there at work, there's been a refrigerator at all of my jobs. Most of them, anyway. My nutrition's fine, but alcohol intake is difficult to mitigate considering I'm Irish and the social circles are revolving around going to the pub. Here's another thing you're not going to want to hear. Not everyone who's in your life right now will be in your life at the end of your journey. There are people that you are going to have to let go. I'm not telling you these are bad people. I'm not telling you that you are not compatible. I'm telling you that the life that you would like to live is not always compatible with the people that you're living your current life with. You guys have all heard that thing about, your immediate 5 people are going to influence everything. And I hate it because it's always finance bros and, Nepo babies that say that shit, but it's true. It's real. You have to surround yourself with people who are doing the things you'd like to do and achieving the things you'd like to achieve. And if the people around you are not achieving the things you'd like to achieve and you are trying to achieve things around them, it's probably not going to work out to the best of your ability. If you don't want to drink and all of your friends drink, you're probably going to keep drinking. If you want to work out and none of your friends work out, you're probably not going to work out. If you are trying to lose weight and all of your friends are big, you're probably going to stay big. I had a lot of friends with no ambition at all. They had the ambition of houseplants. They stayed exactly where they were and did nothing and endeavored for nothing. And that's fine. I can't change them. I don't want to change them. But I needed to change. I needed to grow. And I had to leave them behind. These are friends that I had growing up from middle school and earlier. And they did not fit in my life going forward. I had to move. I had to change. I had to change the people that were around me. If you are trying to break a habit and your circle is actively engaging in that habit all the time, the circle needs to change. Not everyone who's in your circle now is going to be in your circle at the end of a successful journey. I'm sorry to say it. Missed a bunch of questions during my rant there. Important to stay hydrated. That's a chug your drink moment right there. No, if you chug it every time I say Back to the Future, you're gonna die. Drink when we see the cats. Yeah, I don't think we have a good cat cam right now. But if they pop in the room and I notice, I'll let you know. Like, we want to survive. Bring us the cats. If I do bring you the cats, I'm going to have to turn my camera off. I can't tell you why. I see these people who meal prep like 10 quesadillas or tacos that look super good and put them in their freezer, and I'm like, I would love to be that person, but how? What do you mean how? You mean just like doing the prep? honestly, myself, the prep that I do for my meals, I bake my chicken breast like once every 2 weeks, and then I just have a big supply of it. I actually have to go out today to get more of it. Prep a whole bunch of ingredients all at one time, and it sucks to have to do it for a little bit, but once you have all the ingredients, are those movies worth watching? What do you mean by those movies? Do you mean the Back to the Future movies? Yes. This is just one of my DeLoreans. It's the one that I have here on my desk. I had to get rid of my oldest living friends. It fucking sucked, but it had to be done. Yeah, I had to do the same thing. Some of my oldest friends are no longer in my life, and it is what it is. It's okay. They weren't helping me to get to my goals, and I wasn't helping them to get to theirs. So, I don't know what their goals were. They didn't seem like they really had any, but I did. So, I saw part of one where they were cowboys. I thought it was supposed to be the future. So they, the second one they go to the future. But in the first and the third one, they go back to the past. They go to 1955 and 1885, respectively. So, you are a good person, and you mean a lot to all of us. Oh, thank you. That means a lot to me. Incredible. Let me keep up. The procrastination tip helped in the podcast. I've done a lot of stuff after I finished it, making an impact, pal, as well as me listening to your advice. Well, thank you. Mike isn't wearing pants. Well, I am wearing something. It's just I don't know if I'd get banned if I stood up with it. Grocery shopping for a meal prep sounds horrifying. It's really not. It's just a matter of buying the ingredients. You may not be used to having the amount of ingredients that you need for it. I was the same way. I'm like, well, shit. What am I going to do with all the? Anytime I buy ingredients, they just rot in my refrigerator. So it is a little bit scary. Hold on. Mom says Mike won the Back to the Future costume contest. I have the picture. I also have the picture. I have it right here, and there's my mom, and she's going to say, no, you can't show the picture. Well, too bad. There it is. That's Doc from Back to the Future 2. My mom helped me put that together. So that's 2011. Hey, I hear the buzz you were talking about. Yes, okay. So, yeah, hey, Rick. Rick is a... by the way, if you guys are not following Rick, you should, because he's about to be posting some awesome content. We've been talking about it off to the side, so I'm really excited to see what he's got. But, yes, I'm going to be... I got your text about the microphones that you recommended, so I'm going to be looking into them and seeing if maybe it's the microphone, maybe it's the XLR cable. I have no idea. I'm hoping it's not the soundboard. That would suck. But, hey, the only way to figure it out is to try it. Do something a little bit different, see what happens. Just copying from my question above. I don't mean to spam. Oh, it's okay. I just missed it sometimes. Hey, how did you deal with dips in motivation? And even though getting back to focusing on losing weight is more important, especially when dips in motivation lead to binge feeding as an after effect. So in terms of motivation is BS. It's a fast burning fuel, and it's a dirty burning fuel. It's not very good. It's like the McRib. It comes and goes, and it might leave a stain on your shirt. It's kind of messy. You can't come to rely on it. What you need to do, if you are relying solely on motivation to get you moving, it's not going to last long. Because motivation, again, burns very quickly. If you are just relying on motivation to get you through something that is unpleasant, you don't need more motivation. You need something more pleasant. So what is it that you can change in your life that that sucks right now? Whatever it is that you're doing, I promise there is an alternative to doing it that is more enjoyable to you specifically. Like the McRib allegory. Like me and Sarah were talking the other day about deadlifts. I don't do deadlifts. And a bunch of gym bros who are going to have terrible backs at 40, if they make it to 40 with all the shit they're injecting, would criticize me for not doing the deadlift. Well, one, I value being able to stand on my own without a cane. And number two, I just don't like it. I simply do not enjoy it, so I don't do it because it's not safe. So if I had to do deadlifts to get strong, I just wouldn't get strong. I wouldn't go to the gym. But luckily, there's not one specific thing we have to do. There's 1,000 different things we can do. So if you find your motivation waning, if you are working against your motivation and the clock, that clock is running out. And I'd love for you to figure out a better way to do it before you burn out. Wait, how old is that photo? That is from 2011. And that was my second Doc Brown costume. This one coming up here that I'll be wearing in October will be my third. So I've now done one Doc Brown from every movie. I wonder what looked different. He didn't have facial hair in the picture. Yeah, I've had a beard for 10 years now because I don't have a face shape. So you can actually see, I started gaining weight probably, I'd say it was probably that year. Because that was the year that I had my first job. So yeah, it would have been that year that fall I was starting to gain weight. Wow, incredible to think of it that way. How do you have energy throughout the day when fasting? You don't. You simply, if you're fasting, you don't have energy. That's the secret there. You don't need to fast. In fact, fasting only comes with downsides. It has no benefits. So that all being said, if it's like a religious thing, obviously that's fine. But there are more accommodations given for religious fasting than there are for dietary fasting, whatever that's supposed to mean. If you're fasting, feeling hungry does not mean you're burning fat. It just means you're hungry. And it means you're probably going to want to eat more to make up for it later. So yeah, if you are not having energy because you're not eating, your body is responding the proper way. You're not supposed to have energy when you don't eat. So the 16-8 fasting isn't good for weight loss. If it leads to you binging, no. That's for sure. There are some people in the world for whom intermittent fasting, they just like it. There's no proven benefit for intermittent fasting over just a standard calorie deficit of small meals throughout the day. But there are some downsides in the sense of if you're a person who gets hungry, if you're a person who is feeling tired all the time, those are going to be your downsides. It's not going to last very long for you. This is, by the way, you're not wrong for doing this or wrong for listening to it. This is very conventional knowledge or conventional myth, at least, that people tell you, well, if food is the problem, then not eating food will be the solution. Food isn't the problem. You wouldn't starve out a dog who was overweight. That dog's getting a little chunky. Let's stop feeding him. You wouldn't do that. You just feed him a little bit less. That's all. Maybe have some meal times, but you're not just going to, for the entirety of the day say, hey, the dog can't eat anything. So why do it to you? I did the same thing for years. I ruined my body doing it. I absolutely wrecked myself doing it. So if anyone here knows fasting, it's me. I damn near killed myself doing it. And I'll spend the rest of my life or whatever length of career I have here doing what I'm doing, trying to rescue people from the same fate. Hey, Mike, what does Back to the Future teach us about weight goals? Your future hasn't been written yet. That's what Doc says at the end of the third movie. Your future could be anything you want it to be. So go ahead and write it whichever way you'd like it to be written. So before he flies off in the time train with Clara and his two little sons, Jules and Vern. Let's keep on reading. I was a bitch when I did OMAD. OMAD is 1 meal a day. Are you a snake or a cactus? Then you probably shouldn't be doing 1 meal a day. If that's not. Now, if you are a snake, then, you have a meal every 2 weeks and you're fine because you're built different. You're not built like the rest of us. But Mike, can you solve a Rubik's Cube? No, but I can throw one against the fucking wall. They break and they shatter into a bunch of cubes. That I can do. I know his heart is in the right place, but I hate how much Thomas DeLauer promotes fasting. Is his heart in the right place if that's the case? If this is somebody who's well known for talking about fasting, their heart's not in the right place. If they're selling programs based on telling people to starve themselves, this is not a person whose heart is in the right place. And if they haven't looked into it enough to know it's safe or to know it's not safe, then they're just being reckless. If it's pure ignorance, at a certain point, ignorance is not excusable. I just find it easier to keep track of calories if I only eat 1, maybe 2 meals a day. Is it easier, or are you afraid of the alternative? Because if you're asking me how to do better with this, then is the method that you're taking right now the best one for you? Think about it. I swallowed a chicken whole and didn't need to eat for several days. Smitty is built different. Hey, Mike, any tips for consistently hitting the step goals? Yes, and it's something that I do with most of my clients. About halfway through our calls, our one-on-one calls, we will get up and start walking. If Rick is still here, he knows that. He's the one who gave me the idea. I do that with other people now. It's half hour, we just get up. We'll walk for 5 minutes. And if you do that throughout your day, you can have an hour of a walk under your belt, having only done it in 5-minute increments. That's how you do it. You don't have to dedicate a specific time to walking if you don't have the time to do it. Not everyone does. Not everyone has an uninterrupted hour. Some of you have kids. Ugh. Just walk for 5 minutes. Do it around. I walk around my kitchen. I'm wearing a line in my floor around my kitchen island from how much I walk around it. Just do that. But that's not very constructive, is it, Michael? What did I do? What did I say that wasn't constructive? Keto rage is real. Not everyone gets it. I sure do. I was on keto too. I did I did the Walmart pills. God, I did everything. I did all of the wrong things. It was terrible. I've taken after Mike and done a few laps in my apartment while listening to a live or a podcast to get some extra steps. Yeah, that's all it is. Just sneak a couple of little things in there through the day. I don't know how many steps I get anymore. I know it's enough. I feel good. Throwing a Rubik's Cube against the wall is not very constructive. Well, I didn't say I was being constructive. I said I could throw a Rubik's Cube against the wall. I suppose at a certain point, I could learn how to do a Rubik's Cube. If I put the work in to be able to solve a Rubik's Cube, I could solve a Rubik's Cube. Do I want to? No. It doesn't seem pleasant. So I'm not going to, but if I wanted to, I have the capability of eventually solving a Rubik's Cube if I would like to learn how to do that. I don't want to learn how to do that, so I don't do it. I don't want to learn how to be okay with intermittent fasting and eating in a 4-hour window, so I'm not going to do it. I'm going to find a different way of doing it. Mr. Backus says, I'm absolutely killing it this month thanks to all of your tips, Mike. My question is, what changed the most for you when going from weight loss to maintaining weight? For me, it was fear. That's what changed a lot. It went from anger to fear. Because when I started maintaining, I had lost way too much weight. And the fear was, well, what happens if I just gain all the weight back? And the anger that came before that was, I'm so damn tired of being fat. And, I was criticizing myself and just being generally awful to me. So, the mindset's going to change there. But, the biological difference is like 300 to 500 calories. It's not much. You're going to be living mostly the same life. That's why I'm always telling people, don't make big changes. You're building the life that you're going to live after this. So your transition from weight loss to maintenance shouldn't really be anything. It should just be the difference of a few hundred calories. That's it. If you took keto to get down and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to eat a full diet once I'm done using keto to lose all the weight, you're not going to. because you don't know how to live that life on the other end. So whatever the weight loss method is that you have right now should eventually be able to be transitioned to a maintenance lifestyle. Some of you have kids. Ugh, it's so. I didn't even notice I said it that way. I'm going to have to watch the replay and see just how disgusted I was. Sorry to everyone who has kids. This is not you, it's me. Oh, good Lord. I consistently get 8 to 10K steps per day just from walking my dog around the block several times a day. Granted, I'm currently work from home, but on days that I'm not, I try to get some steps on my lunch break. It adds up. Hey, I work from home too. I work from here. And those of you who have worked with me, you know I work on my couch. So, like, there runs a real possibility that I don't get steps in a day if I don't, get up and make a concerted effort to do so. What are your thoughts on one cheat meal a week? Why have one cheat meal? First off, what are you cheating on? Answer me this. Is it okay to cheat on your partner once a week? And also, who are you cheating on? And why are these foods so special that they have to be relegated? Their power has to be relegated to just one single day per week. Why can't you just have a little bit of something whenever? I'll be right back. Hang on. No, you know what? I don't trust my my webcam anymore. I'll be right back. Oh. We're so back. I just bought these the other day. This is a Friday. This isn't Saturday. This isn't a cheat day. What are you doing, Mike? You're going to gain all the weight back. This is about calories in, calories out, Beach Boy real. Wait, are you one of the real Beach Boys? This is Biscoff Mini. I would have preferred the Biscoff not minis, but I'll take this one. Ice cream in the middle. Thick chocolate layer around there. Little crunchies. Biscoff cookies. This is 190 calories. I will be no worse for the wear eating this. This is not a special thing. This isn't a treat. I'm not a good boy or a good dog that just performed a trick. I am an adult who gets to make adult choices. This is not any different from any other food I'll have throughout the day. It's just calories. Am I going to have 10 of these? No. Will I maybe have another one later? I'm not going to lie, maybe. But because I don't relegate the power of this thing to a single day or a single set of stipulations or whatever, I'm not afraid of it, and I don't iconize it. This is not the most special thing in the world. It's just, it is what it is. It's really good. It's really good. So yeah, I don't do cheat days. I just have what I want when I want it, and because of that, I don't think about this all the time. I'm not all week lusting over it. And then that Saturday comes and I'm ravenous because I'm like, give it to me. And I jump on top of it and start sucking it down. That's so good. Did you keep tracking after you reached your goal? Yes. I was tracking. I don't really track anymore because I used the food scale as a educational tool toward the end, rather than just like an accountability tool. I wanted to see like what makes me full, how much food makes me full. This is, I recommend this. There's also a small layer of cookie butter in there. Great.
I just wanted to say hi, but also I'm really bad at turning to sugar and fried foods when I'm stressed. I'm eating way too much candy this week. And if so, how do you overcome that? So, as someone who used to have a 2-pint a night, Ben & Jerry's have it. It's just a matter of being mindful in how we replace it. That's it. You're going to have to manage it somehow. How do you choose to manage it? I myself really like walks. I like the gym. This right here, you guys see this guitar within reach of me all the time? This is one of my stress management techniques here. I love it. So I have it within reach. This is in my freezer all the way in the back. Can't get to it as quickly. That I can get to right away. Yes, I have cats. My housemate keeps saying things like, "I was good today. I didn't have any biscuits," and it makes me want to grab her by the shoulders and vigorously shake her. It drives me mad. Yeah, toxic diet culture has really permeated everything that we do. It's horrendous. Oh, this is some really good insight here from Smitty. When I treated them as bad food, I would buy the pack on a whim and then eat all of them in one sitting out of guilt. The faster they were gone, the faster I could get back to being good. Yeah, because if they're in the house, you're going to think about them, right? So if you get rid of them, they're not in the house anymore, then, then you can go back to being clear-minded. Or you just have it when you want it. Don't worry about it. And Sarah, I know how much this comment means to you specifically. I don't want to be 60 and still feel out of control around something just because I was too afraid to build it into my life. Yeah, I didn't want to live being afraid of ice cream. I love it. God, it's so damn good. The only thing good about an American Airlines flight is the Biscoff cookies they give you. By the way, the Biscoff Oreos, they're not worth it. That they're worth it. The Biscoff Oreos, really not. Not that good. Don't recommend. I think they just called them sandwich cookies, though. I pull her up on it every time, but it does not stop her. I was naughty and had a cake. Why were you naughty? Who did it hurt? Ooh, that's an interesting thought there. Who did it hurt? It didn't hurt anybody. So it's really just all about calories more than what you eat. I know obviously you can't eat absolutely anything. Got to eat some protein and veg and fruits and such. Yeah, that's it. Focus on whole foods. Focus on some nutrient-dense foods with protein and fiber and the like. And then when you want to have an ice cream, you go ahead and have it. But guess what? I've had a really satisfying day of eating, as I do very often, almost all the time. The foods that I have are nutrient-dense, and they're filling, and they make me feel good. They make my brain feel good. So then when I have one of these, I'm not tempted to go and have more because I'm not just subsisting solely off of simple digesting carbs. And it doesn't worry me all that much. Honestly, in that moment, I have thrown out food instead. Waste if I binge on it anyways. Yeah, I just made a post about a very controversial post the other day about the same thing. Steamy Bean Boy. Like that. Hi, Mike. Have you ever had a hard time overeating / borderline binge after eating regular whole foods? I don't do it very often, but sometimes I get the eat urge, and I eat it all, the meats, the veggies, even the fruits. Why does this happen? The monkey brain propaganda, maybe emotional, maybe both, so you already know about the monkey brain. Yeah, when it comes to a binge eating disorder, it's not just going to be satisfied by food. By having the right foods. It's going to be a huge help, but we've got some mental tools that we have to work on too. What are your triggers at the moment? One of the things that I'm having my clients work on this week is triggers. What is triggering you? For me, it was one of the things I didn't notice. I had worked on the stress eating, I'd worked on the sadness eating, but one of the other methods of overeating that was permeating into my life was procrastination eating. Anytime I had to get something done and I didn't want to do it, I would just eat something to close that confirmation loop. And was like, okay, cool. I've accomplished something. My brain is happy because I accomplished a thing, but I didn't accomplish the thing I wanted to accomplish. I just accomplished a different thing. So it didn't help. I'm no closer to being satisfied than I was before, but now I've eaten calories about it. So it's just a matter of trying to figure out what is it that made you want to eat more. Was it just because it was available? Were you bored? Were you stressed? Were you procrastinating? There's so many different things our monkey brains make us do. Now, there are better foods that are better for satiety and energy and better for overall health, but you can lose weight eating nothing but Twinkies if it's a calorie deficit. You can, just would suck. You know, there was somebody who did it, which is the study that Sarah's citing right there. Somebody lost like 50 pounds or something just eating Twinkies. And I don't think their health was very good at the end. I wouldn't feel very good. But you can do it if it's just a matter of burning fat. It's a matter of calories in, calories out. You can make that more efficient, and you can make it much more enjoyable for yourself by having a varied diet. But yeah, it really is just getting your calories in. I have 4 kids, 2 under 2 years old. I frequently forget to eat and then binge after everyone goes to bed. Do you have any tips for to plan better, or maybe a secret to adding more hours to the day? Well, you can do some cross-country travel, or cross-continent travel. My friend Clint and Misty, recently from the Guild of Champions, Chris Terrell's Guild of Champions, just went over to Germany, and on their flight, they were able to turn a 24-hour day into a 31-hour day with the time zone differences. That all aside, if you would like to not forget to do things, you're going to have to do the thing I do. Put it on your damn schedule. Set alarms for it. If there's things that, if I don't put something on my Google Calendar, it doesn't get done. And that means that, like, my gym time is on my Google Calendar. Sometimes I'll go before, but I don't go after. Once that hits, it's happening. I'm going to be doing it. Set an alarm on your phone. It's time to eat. Mom's got to eat. You can't be pouring from an empty cup. You got to eat something. Still working on my relationship with food, however. I'm proud of myself because I bought a box of Edmund's donuts and ate 2 instead of the whole box. That's great. I'm proud of you. Amy Will, I've been allowing myself as many treats as I want recently, and I think the luxury is finally wearing off. I'm not putting it on a pedestal as much anymore. Though it could just be because I'm sick and I don't want to eat anything, but I'm hoping it's the former. I'll tell you this, with one of my first clients, this was the first client call I ever had. This was somebody who had a pretty big proclivity for this certain type of cookies. And so what I had told her was every night at a specific whatever time you decide, you're going to have like 3 of these cookies. Every night. She's like, well, what do I have to cut out? Nothing. You don't have to cut anything out. Every night, eat these cookies at that time. And she did. And like 4 or 5 days later, she texts me and she's like, hey, I don't know if I want to eat the cookies anymore. And I'm like, I wonder why. And, we talked about it the next week, and it was like, yeah, the novelty had worn off. It wasn't exciting anymore. It wasn't, I'm doing something bad. It was like, it's just part of my routine now. It's why no one ever tells me that they're overeating on ground beef. You can have it anytime you want. No one would ever say that's a bad thing. Not gonna lie, even though I'm feeling it with my favorite pizza and bagels, was so excited for them all year, had them again, had them a third time, paired them with salads, fruits, didn't wildly binge on them, knew I could have them at any point while here in Jersey. I can confidently say I'm satisfied and I'm not interested in eating them again until next year. I'm damn near about to cry, Sarah. My goodness. Part of the need for me to be, part of me used to be the secrecy in which I ate these things. And you and I have talked about the shame of hiding the wrappers and then throwing it away in somebody else's trash cans and no one has to see it. You told me about the DoorDash thing where you'd ordered DoorDash and you were trying to get it before anybody came home and, it arrived when somebody was there and saw it happening, There's so much shame wrapped. You take the shame out, and it's just part of you, part of your routine, part of the things that you do, and it's not an issue anymore. It's not trouble. Now that there's no secret in the binge, it's less appealing as a whole. Yeah. I love reading all your comments. Thank you for sharing your experience. I always find something useful for my own path. I love this community. Well, I love you, Mr. Backus, and I love everybody that's here right now. What an honor it's been to get to talk to everybody here and to get to know all of you. I don't know how I got this lucky to be able to do what I'm doing, but it's I could not be more grateful to have this opportunity. So thank you so much. Thank you. We're now over an hour. I've been trying to keep these at an hour, so I'm going to have to pop out of here. But I would like to invite everybody to pop over to the Discord, and I want to start a conversation here. Let me see what channel we're going to do it on. What channel will this be? Let's not do it in home. Let's do it somewhere else. Let's do it in non-scale victories. Yeah. So if you go to the Discord and you go to the non-scale victories chat under general topics, it's the second one. So you got home and then non-scale victories right under it. Go in there and just drop something that you're proud of this week. Okay? That's all I want. And let's talk about it. Let's be proud of each other. Let's be proud of ourselves. Let's be kind to ourselves. Oh, everyone's talking about crying. What did I do? I remember my first live with Mike. I cried so much. Wow, thank you so much, Mike. I lost 75 pounds because of your advice. Gee, how long have you been with me? My goodness, 75, incredible. Drink up, friends. Oh, yeah, Mike has made me teary on more than one occasion. Hell, I've cried here. Me and Sarah, we cried on our first call together a while ago. What a joy it is to get to cry with my close friends like you guys. Thank you for allowing me that opportunity. You know, for a long time I had to keep that down. So it's nice to let it rip when I need to. There's going to be some tears here. I don't know when I'm going to get to talking about this journal. Some of you saw me talk about it on a live stream once. But it's not going to be next week, because next week's my I'm going to be airing an interview I just did with Dr. Sarah Ballantyne of Nutrivore. She sent me 2 of her books, and really, really great person. Really, if you guys are not following Dr. Sarah Ballantyne on Instagram, you should. So that interview will be out here soon. But yes, thank you all for making my journey spectacular. I can only hope that I've done the same thing for you. Pop on over to the Discord, into the non-scale victories. Let's talk about the things we're proud of, and let's also talk about how we're going to level it up and be proud of ourselves through the week. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to wear this to the gym. I'm nervous, but I need to push myself.